Good morning to all of you. Today let us discuss about the female reproductive system. The female reproductive system is located in the pelvic region and comprises of a pair of ovaries, a pair of oviduct or fallopian tubes, uterus, cervix, vagina and external genitalia. Ovaries. The ovaries are paired structure which are present on either side of the lower abdominal cavity and are held in the position connected to the pelvic wall and uterus with the help of ligaments. Each ovary is almond shaped and about 2 to 4 cm in length. Each ovary contains thousands of developing follicles. The longitudinal section of human female ovary shows that the ovary is lined by a layer of cuboidal epithelial cells known as germinal epithelium. This germinal epithelium layer divides to form a large number of follicle cells. Underneath the germinal epithelium lies a dense connective tissue capsule called the tunica albuginea. The substance of the ovary is divided into an outer cortex and inner medulla. The outer cortex appears more dense and granular due to the presence of numerous ovarian follicles which are in various developing stages. Each of the follicles contain an oocyte, the female germ cell. The medulla is made up of loose connective tissue with abundant blood vessels, lymphatic vessels, and nerve fibers. Here we can see the egg is released by the ovary. The egg which is released by the ovary is then received by a pair of fallopian tube or by the oviducts. The oviducts carry eggs from the ovary to the uterus. The fallopian tube possesses the following parts: a broad, funnel-shaped proximal part which lies close to the ovary to receive the egg released by the ovary, known as infundibulum. The margin of the infundibulum bears finger-like processes known as fimbriae. This fimbriae collect the egg and direct it into the infundibulum. Next, the infundibulum leads into a long, wide, thin-walled, tortuous margin part of the fallopian tube called the ampulla. It is the region where the egg awaits for the sperm for the fertilization. The ampulla leads to a very short, narrow, thick-walled, straight part known as isthmus. Then the isthmus opens into the uterus by a narrow tube called the uterine part, which communicates with the uterine cavity. The oviducts are ciliated. Eggs are propelled along the oviduct by the peristaltic and ciliary action. The oviducts open into the uterus in the upper corner, that is known as cornua. The oviducts lead into a large, piriform, highly elastic medium sac called uterus. The uterus is a specialized sac for the development of the embryo. It is located between the urinary bladder and the rectum. It is attached to the body wall by a double fold of peritoneum, the mesometrium. It shows four regions: upper wide dome-shaped fundus that receives the fallopian tubes, cornua, the upper corners where the oviducts enter the uterus, middle large body or corpus, which is the main part, and lower narrow part, that is the cervix, that projects into the vagina. The cervix communicates above with the body and the uterus by an aperture, the internal os, and the external os. The canal is known as cervical canal. The glands of the cervical canal secrete a prosthetic mucus plug during pregnancy. The uterus has a thick, highly vascular wall composed of three tissues: outer perimetrium, middle smooth muscle layer known as myometrium, and inner mucous membrane known as endometrium. Myometrium is involved in uterine movements, and endometrium undergoes cyclic changes during different phases of menstrual cycle. The uterus opens into a large median elastic muscular tube of about 7.5 centimeter in length by the cervical canal. It extends forward and downward and opens out at its lower end into the vestibule by vaginal orifice. The space between the vaginal wall and the cervix is called the fornix. The vagina is adapted for receiving the male's penis during copulation, menstrual flow, serving as the birth canal during parturition. The vaginal opening and the urinary opening are present in a depression called vestibule, which is present in front of the anus. Here we can see the urethral opening, and here we can see the vaginal opening. In male reproductive system, we have seen that the passage for urine and sperms are same, but in female the passage for urine and that of menstrual bleeding is different. The vestibule is flanked by two pairs of fleshy folds of skin, the inner small, thin, moist labiominora, and outer large hair-covered labia majora. All the labial folds have numerous sebaceous and sweat glands on both sides. At the anterior junction of the labia minora, a small erectile organ called clitoris is present, which is homologous to the penis. The area between the fourchette and the anus is termed as perineum. A fleshy elevation above the labia majora is known as mons pubis. It bears pubic hair. A pair of vestibular or Bartholin's glands occur, one on each side of the vaginal orifice. The Bartholin's glands secrete a clear viscid fluid under sexual excitement. This fluid serves as a lubricant during copulation. Thank you. I hope the structure of human female reproductive system and its location is clear to all of you. Thank you.